Let's get straight to it. Cannabis. In New York, it's everywhere, part of the streets, the rhythm, the daily life. Not a taboo, not a trend, not rebellion, just reality. And if you think it's a stoner topic, you're missing the real story. This is about people, balance, and how a city this intense forces you to find a way to breathe. New York is incredible. It's magnetic. It's full of opportunities, energy, stories crossing at every corner. But it's also a city that will eat you alive if you don't find balance. Everything here is fast. Work is fast. Relationships are fast. Expectations are fast. And you're expected to always be on, always productive, always performing. It's a city that demands a lot, often too much. And the human body isn't built to live permanently in survival mode. This is where a need many people underestimate comes in, the need for nature. I'm not talking about parks or weekend getaways. I'm talking about something deeper, the need to slow down, to reconnect, to feel something alive around you. Plants, in this sense, aren't a hipster hobby. They're a biological response to an artificial environment. And cannabis, whether people like it or not, is one of the plants that has most clearly stepped into this need. I love cannabis as a plant, not as a trend, not as a political banner, not as a provocation, as a plant. Because when you truly know it, when you watch it grow, when you learn its rhythms, you realize it's nothing like the caricature we've been fed for years. It's not just escape. It's not just getting high. It's not just smoke. It's relationship. It's listening. It's respect. Anyone who truly understands it knows it doesn't work if you treat it superficially. And this applies both to the plant and to its use. The problem isn't cannabis. The problem is the ignorance surrounding it. And why talk about this in New York? Because New York is the perfect place to understand this story. Here, two opposite forces coexist: extreme stress and a desperate search for well-being. This is the city where people run all day and then meditate at night, where they work late and do yoga at 6 in the morning, where rooftops become urban jungles, where windowsills turn into mini greenhouses, where every inch of green is an act of resistance. And yes, it's also the city where cannabis is legal, sold in official stores, consumed openly, discussed without shame. Not because it's cool, but because it's needed. It helps people disconnect. It helps them sleep. It helps them slow down a mind that never stops running. And those who say it's just an excuse to avoid facing problems often have never truly lived in a city like this. One thing that drives me crazy is how cannabis is always treated like an exception, like something alien, dangerous, mysterious. It's a plant, period. A plant humans have known for thousands of years. A plant used in different cultures, different eras, different ways. The fact that it's finally being recognized legally doesn't make it magical. It makes it normal. And normalizing doesn't mean trivializing. It means taking responsibility. It means pulling cannabis out of the shadows, out of taboos, out of half-truths. It means talking about it openly, maturely, consciously. And let's be clear, legalization in New York hasn't turned the city into chaos. It has done something far more important. It has taken cannabis out of the illegal market and placed it in a regulated, visible, controlled context. This changes everything. It changes how people talk about it. It changes how it's perceived. It changes how people learn about it. And most importantly, it changes how people experience it. It's no longer a clandestine act. It's no longer a taboo. It's no longer a secret. It's a choice. And like all choices, it requires responsibility. When I say I love growing it, I'm not talking about techniques or numbers. I'm talking about relationship. Growing a plant teaches you patience. It teaches you to respect timing. It teaches you that you can't force nature. Cannabis, more than many other plants, punishes you if you treat it poorly. And it responds if you treat it with care. It's not a plant for people who want everything immediately. And maybe that's exactly why it says so much about our society. We live in a world that wants instant results, instant gratification, instant solutions. Cannabis doesn't work like that. It forces you to slow down, to observe, to respect. And that alone is a huge lesson. Yes, there are benefits. And no, that's not propaganda. Benefits don't mean it's for everyone. They don't mean it's always positive. They don't mean it's a universal solution. They simply mean that for many people, it has a real impact on well-being, relaxation, stress reduction, better connection with one's body, a sense of presence we often lose in daily frenzy. In a city where you're constantly pushed outward toward performance, competition, productivity, cannabis brings you inward. And that, to me, is its greatest value. But let's also talk about what doesn't work, because ignoring it would be dishonest. Cannabis isn't harmless if used without awareness, and people who treat it like a toy ruin it for everyone. The point isn't using more. The point is using better, or not using it all if it's not for you. Maturity lies here, not in slogans, not in extreme positions, not in oversimplifications. And why does this conversation bother so many people? Because it breaks comfortable narratives. It's not bad drug. It's not miracle plant. It's something more complex. And complexity scares people. We live in a world that loves labels, categories, simple answers. But cannabis doesn't fit into any of those boxes. And if we truly want to grow as a society, we need to learn to sit in the gray areas, to talk without shouting, to understand before judging. Anyone who loves plants knows this. It's not just aesthetics. It's not just decoration. It's not just green. It's a need for care, a need to slow down, a need to feel part of something alive. Cannabis has been pushed out of this conversation for too long, treated as an exception, a taboo, something separate. Now, it's coming back in. And New York is one of the places where this shift is most visible. If you've made it this far, this topic probably concerns you. Whether you're supportive or skeptical, curious or doubtful, this conversation touches you because it's about how we live, how we handle stress, how we relate to nature, how we search for balance in a world that has none. Ignoring it won't make it disappear. Facing it with maturity can change everything. Cannabis in New York isn't a passing trend. It's a symptom, and also a response. An imperfect response, sure, but a real one. And as long as we keep talking about it with fear or superficiality, we'll never truly understand it. I prefer to know it, respect it, and tell its story for what it is, a plant, in a city that desperately needs to breathe.